This is in response to just the question about this plant and its existence, the controversy surrounding it, its purchase, its shadiness, and then it just shows up, literally. I mean, that's another divine intervention story, really. I mean, by evidence, by the fact that I left it outside. I forgot all about this stupid plant because it's not sunk in that I really even have this plant, even if it's not what it's supposed to be, because there is some question. Honestly, there is some question. I'm not going to go over the background because it's redundant, since I do have some sort of compensation. So that part of the story no longer is valid. But the ID is, there's some question because there is no tag in the plant. So I can't really faithfully assume what it is, because when I looked at the plant upon arrival, I was questioning what it was, because to be honest, it looks more like crestwood or a Veitchii than, but it does look like the one in the picture, which could be a fake. The other thing, I put it on Facebook, the Facebook Angraecum group, which it seems to be the authority, and no one answered except for Gilles, who is the guy that they use all of his pictures from for the orchids, for the species, for the hybrids. Gilles, Gilles, French guy. I'm sure you've seen his pictures for all the. He answered that it was a Veitchii. And I was given a Veitchii last year, which is doing good. But if this is a Veitchii, I'm fine. You know, we will find out when it flowers. Veitchiis flower close along line. Now look at that. That's not good. This could be because I left it out here. Yeah, look. Look. I'm not going to fret about that at all, because I've had many plants, many Angraecoids, where the crown just was pulled out like that. I can't think that the plant is dying, although, you know, the base doesn't look so well. I can't. All that I can do really at this point is go with it. I'm going to take it inside and treat it as if it is mine and like it's a gift. And it is, because even if it's a Veitchii, I love Veitchii. Lemforde White Beauty just stays on my list. No problem. So there is that question, and I got to start acting like it's a special plant. Like I said, even if it is a Veitchii, because Veitchii is special as well, just not as special as Lemforde White Beauty, which, if you don't know, I will tell you. Lemforde White Beauty is the best of both worlds. It is Sesquisquadale times Magdalena, which is the king and the queen. If I can find a Magdalena. But anywho, Sesquisquadale is the king, Magdalena is the queen. Where is Magdalena? We're in the Arangus. Okay, I am not quitting until we find the queen, although I have my own photo. I thought this would be easier. There's Magdalena. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, there they go. That is the king. That, what I just showed, was the queen. So, let's look at both of them. Superba Magdalenae. Magdalenae. was named by Schlechter, comparing the whiteness of the flower to the purity of Mary Magdalene after the exorcism. Medium-sized fan-shaped plant, very short in younger plants, can be. It's a medium-sized plant. Rather dark in color, moderately brittle. Leaves are contracted and folded above the sheath. Inflorescence are short, fully petaled for an Angraecum. And texture of the flower is very heavy, leathery, while the color is purest white with moderate waxy luster. The habitat. Magdalena is known to come from Mount so-and-so Ibidi, growing at altitudes of, though this is 5,000 feet. But it is most common to the main range of mountains along the coast. So, grows semi-terrestrially in large columns on flat boulders. Several inches of rich humus and leaf litter. The roots often partly exposed. Plants are partly shaded, but even so are exposed to very bright light. The night chill at that altitude is tempered by the residual warmth of very bright light. Warmth of the boulders, The environment in which it grows is a distinct 5-month dry season, May through September, when it receives almost full sun, early morning dew, and occasionally even light frost. In Madagascar, the species flowers in January. So, but in the home culture, it says intermediate is best with strong light. Some drying off and chilling are probably beneficial, but frost isn't advisable, and I would advise that as well. Plants grow good in semi-terrestrial mix in shallow pots. Need to make sure that the roots are wet and not dried. Doesn't really need a dry period in the greenhouse, but I give it somewhat a drier rest in the winter. Not a complete dry, but they still get high light. And it is called the queen. Of course, that's what I said. So let me see, it does say plant and flower produces a very spicy, enticing scent, especially in the evening. Flowers are long-lasting, up to 4 to 5 weeks. Usually kikis usually open after the main plant has finished, extending the flower period. So that usually does happen. And this says it blooms as early as March and will bloom through midsummer. True, I would agree with that. Usually midsummer for me. And that's pretty much that. Magdalena. And now we're looking for the king, which is Sesquipedale here. Latin species under the name Sesquipedale. Literally means measuring 1.5 feet, referring to the long nectary or spur. Approaches 18 inches. Of course, this is the Darwin's orchid. Anyhow, eventually goes to be a large, leggy, unbranched plant, 3 to 4 feet tall, but smaller than a burnum, of course, or superbum. The stem is enveloped by overlapping leaves, and they are leathery, fairly stiff with waxy edges, green powder, kind of glaucous a little bit. Stiff. Flowers are up to 17, well, it doesn't say the foot across, but they are large flowers. Generally they will flower 2 or 3 on a spike if they all open. Ferns and orchids were abundant. Is that what it says? Natural habitat. It grows in the hot lowlands on the eastern coast of Madagascar. Usually epiphytic on the trunks of trees, rarely in rocks and slight shade or diffuse light in the edge of woods. Close to the ground or high up, always where there's plenty of air movement. It prefers sloping tree trunks and crotches of trees. Aerial roots may creep over the bark, then dangle in the air. Coastal areas, which it is common, they receive heavy rainfall. What does it say? In other words, the growing season is virtually year long. There really is no rest for Sesquipedale, and generally in our our sorry, my back is hurting, but in our, in this hemisphere, the northern hemisphere, it is usually flowers for around Christmas time, sometimes known as the Christmas orchid. That's kind of what I was trying to say. So it does receive heavy rainfall year round, but a lot less in the winter time. And it says in the home it will grow into warm or intermediate, although it does do better in a warm house. Once the plant has reached the flowering size, disturb the roots as little as possible. It says pot and curse fir bark, but anyway, I am doing this the wrong way because I'm going to be doing an update on this. Not an update, but a collab soon in a couple days. So I'm just going to stop what I'm doing right now. Just really wanted to give you an update on the king and the queen because that was the king that I was just talking about. So I'm just going to close my book and let Fred Hillerman talk another day. But this plant is still on my mind and I have to really bring it in. These plants were on the cart, wheeled inside for the night. Here's my Magdalene right here. Nice little pups at the base. Shallow in the pot. And my Cespasquidale is over here. So yeah, this would be the time, around the time that it usually would flower for me if I haven't, I know I've said that. And I'll put a picture, it is just beautiful. Usually only one, possibly two, large, fleshy, very heavily substance flower that has a very distinct, strong night fragrance. That is the best of both, the king and the queen, and it is Lemforde White Beauty. If that is what this is, I will just assume until I get it to bloom. Anyway, folks, thank you for watching. I will keep you posted on this plant for sure. Enjoy your orchids. Bye.